everybody. Welcome to, we're going to call it an interim Barflies report here. We're in the middle of a big break in between games, but there's still things going on. There's still things to talk about. And as always, I'm here with Coach Pete. How you doing, Pete?
Great, Kevin, as always. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a great, brilliant morning here on the other side of the ocean. I'm excited to talk a little bit about what's going on over there with y'all.
Great.
So first, let's talk about what you've been doing here in the last few training sessions. I understand that you don't really have the ability to have full-time base coaches the way that a professional organization necessarily would, and that makes perfect sense. So tell me a little bit about incorporating the players on the team into the base coaching responsibilities.
Yeah, that's kind of part of our general plan as well, is to incorporate all of those other aspects of the game into our development. And it's not just base coaching, it's scoring in the dugout or positional awareness in the dugout, so we can help our players that are on the field and are making those plays. Because when you're really concentrating on each pitch and everything, you're really trying to, you don't have that full awareness that you can have from somebody that's abstract and looking at everything that's going on. And so as part of that is also the base coaches. As you said, we're not a large organization that can afford to have a permanent base coach at first or at third. And so we have to cover that as players ourselves. And a lot of times, you have that nervousness as a player. It's like, what do I do? What's my role as base coach? And a lot of times you'll just end up standing there and maybe wave your arm every once in a while and have some fun out there, but or cheer along with as you would normally from the stands. And one of the things that, as part of that development, is to understand, what do I need to do? What do I need to be aware of as a base coach? And so this past week, one of the drills that we were working on was understanding what is that role as the first base coach, and what do you need to do? So we started off very simple. We had batters lined up and got a toss ball from somebody at home, and they would hit the ball somewhere out in the field. We would target, for our experienced players, they would be targeting certain areas of the field, working on that drill at the same time. And then once they hit the ball, concentrate on either running it out at one, a grounder in the infield, for instance, or if the ball got outed to the outfield, incorporating the rounding of first into attacking second base. And as part of that, putting our players there as the first base coach position and having them understand what are the arm movements, when to halt somebody at first, and then also understanding when you're running to first, what do I need to look at on my base coach to understand how to round that big. So very important, and I think it was really well with the team in order to get that experience, so that they're not nervous out there next time that they have to take up that position.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I think it's really important that you're able to, as a player where you're normally focused, to be able to step back, take that 30,000 foot view and be able to see all the moving parts that are happening and understanding what everybody's responsibility is, and learning that and how to help coach the bases probably is going to help that awareness on the field too, I would think.
Yeah, and in understanding the thought behind, okay, am I sending this person a second or not, and understanding that as a base runner, and then just getting everybody on the same page. We've had those communication problems in the past, where we're not quite understanding what the one person is thinking or the other person. And so getting on the same page together as a team so that we all understand what we're trying to accomplish at these different plays.
Great. And then now something else cool that your organization does is, you, for a long time now, have been gathering film. Mm-hmm. And both of your team and your opponents when you play. And so I know you haven't played your next opponent in quite some time, but I understand that you have some film and you're able to sit down and do some film study. And this seems to have provided a good opportunity this break for you guys to sit down and do some of that. How's that been going?
Yeah, it's been going very good. We have film going back to 2014. That's when we got onto our new field, and that's when we've been starting to incorporate film during the games. And one of the advantages of our league is that we start seeing a lot of people over and over and over again. And so whether it's our next opponent is Rhina, or if it's Dortmund, or if it's Witten, or if it's for Minden. So we have a lot of game film going back. And so the advantage of having this software this year is we can now go back to that film, tag it, and find those players that are still around that might have an influence on the game. And this past week, we had some rain starting on Tuesday, and so we focused on getting that film session up and running with some of the pitchers from the Rhina team. So we're able to analyze their approach, try to find any giveaways on their pickoff moves and things like that. So that was very helpful. And it also gave us a chance to see our mistakes against them, as well as some of our highlights. So.
Well, great. Now, that's about all there is to talk about baseball wise right now. I know you guys are just kind of working on fine tuning and working on those fundamentals that you're talking about and incorporating all those things and trying to get better as a club. And that's all great. But I understand there are some fun things in store coming up, and I hope everybody's got their permission slip signed, because I understand there's a field trip coming up.
Yeah, we're going to get on that yellow bus. No, we don't have a yellow bus, but no, we'll be going out in a few weeks. We're going to have a paintball outing for 4 hours at a local paintball location. So that's going to be really fun. We have everybody was able to make it. That's on our off week in between games coming up at the end of August.
Nothing will bring a team together like shooting at each other. I can guarantee you that. And it'll be fun because you can all compare your bruises afterwards.
Exactly. Normally we're comparing the bruises after a hit by pitch or getting one comebacker on the stinger. But yeah, we'll be looking at the small paintball bruises coming up there.
That'll be fun. Well, in the vein of fun, we're going to this is going to be a short episode this week, but I do have a surprise for you, Coach. I have 3 completely non-baseball questions for you. Kind of not really, maybe a little get to know the coach, but just for fun, because I've gotten to know the coach quite well over a very long period of time. And so I'm going to start with an easy one. What was your first car?
My first car. My first car was a Mitsubishi van wagon that I bought for $100, and it had no brakes. So I threw another $100 into the brake system so that I could actually stop. And yeah, it was a light blue Mitsubishi van wagon.
That's great. Now I'm going to piggyback on that because I have a fun little story here. I know at one point you had a 1982 6-cylinder Camaro that was going to be a project car, and life took the twists and turns that it did, and you never really got around to making a project car. And so I took over that project and also didn't get anywhere with it. And I wanted to let you know that that car actually went on to have quite an interesting life, because a guy I was working with at the time was really big in drag racing. He had a Mustang that he ran. He was actually quite good at it. And his new wife wanted to get into it. And so that Camaro went on over to Mark, and Mark got it all fixed up. And wouldn't you know it, he had his wife running about 13-second quarter miles with it. So it went on to have quite a good life. And I thought that would be an interesting little tidbit that you get a kick out of.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I remember we rode up to Niagara Falls to pick that up. It's the US side of Niagara Falls. And it was one of those versions that had both kilometers and miles on it, with the lever going on the kilometers on one side and the miles on one side. Normally you have them both on the one, and you have the so yeah, I remember that trip, putting it up on the trailer to bring it back home. So yeah, great to hear that.
Yeah, no, it went on to have a good life. Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite album from the 90s? I want a very specific period. Do you have a favorite album from the 1990s?
From the 90s. I don't really have an album from the 90s. You know, it's really, there's lots of different songs from various times in the 90s, you know. So as I was an exchange student in Germany, for instance, you would have all of the songs from the 96, 97 era where, you know, that just brings me back to my time as an exchange student. Yeah, I don't have an album. Sorry.
That's fair enough. No, fair enough. I was just probing and seeing if you had something from that specific time period. And I got one more question, and I want to know. December 19th of 2004, the Cleveland Browns played the San Diego Chargers in Cleveland.
Oh, that was a cold game.
Is that the coldest that you've ever been in your life?
Well, no, see, I wasn't really that cold. The guy going into the stadium in shorts, I bet he was colder than I was.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
But
for those of you that are listening, that game had a temperature of about 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, the conversion is lost on me, with a wind chill of about negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and we left at halftime.
Yeah, that was a cold game. We had to get back to our tailgating outfit that had the fire going. We couldn't drink anything anymore because everything that you had to drink was frozen right away. So
you could only chew your beer.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah, I just thought it would be fun to hit on a couple of random things from a long time ago, and maybe bring a little bit of personality out in our normal baseball conversation.
Was that wasn't the game that was where we almost didn't make it because of the snow on the way to the field, was it?
That was that game.
That was that one. Okay.
Yeah, and then when we were trying to leave, there was even more snow, and we were riding in the 15-passenger Econoline van.
Yeah, and
rear-wheel drive through 10 inches of snow.
2-foot cast iron fry pan to get breakfast going for everybody. Yeah,
that's right.
Tailgating was fun.
Oh, that was a riot. So, well, as always, any final thoughts from the coach?
No, you know, we're really happy that that we're doing this. The team is really excited that you're interviewing. So thanks for all of the patience that you have with with the initial 3 games that we had, and the trials and tribulations, and it's glad that we're able to document this season in this way. So thanks again from the team this time for your effort and involvement here too.
Well, I appreciate it, but I'm really enjoying it. It's been a blast to get together and talk baseball with you, and see the improvement and see what you guys are doing to get that behind the curtain look. It's been really enjoyable on this end, and I look forward to keeping it up.
Yep, and we'll see each other next week when we do this again, and we'll see what kind of training drills that I can bring back next week to show you.
Sounds great. Thanks, Pete. Everybody out there, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Kevin. Take care.
Bye.